that commitment and love for country there, 100%, I'll give it to him. Okay, I'll give him 100%. Commitment and love of country, that one there, nobody comes near. Who can get near to him. None of our leaders, both alive and dead, can compare. Not even Nkrumah, because Nkrumah had base support, and Nkrumah had only a small group of people against him. But Rawlings had so many people against him. Okay? After Nkrumah, he's my man. He was a committed African, more than a committed Ghanaian.
Mr. Danquah-Boadi, who was then the regional manager of the Ghana News Agency, met late ex-President Rawlings on several times as a journalist, but the most memorable one was when he visited the Bolgatanga chief, Naba Martin Abilba III.
Rawlings is not coming as a member of the PNDC. The rule at DNA is that if a member of PNDC is coming to your region, the regional manager himself must do the story. So this time, he was coming to announce his intention to contest the elections, to form a party to contest the election. So I told myself that this time he's not coming as PNDC member. This time he's not coming as a PNDC member. So I will not go and cover him. But unfortunately, the God who speaks to me insisted that I should go and cover him. I said, this man, he has been head of state all this while, and he still wants to become president. I wouldn't go. He insisted I should go. So at the end of the day, I decided to go. When we went at the Boakye Danquah-Boadi palace, as if the Boakye Danquah-Boadi has been coached, he made a very nice presentation about the reason why Rawlings should not go. He made an analogy. He said, you are building a house. You haven't finished it. And if you leave it, another person comes, and the person says he is not going to continue. What would you have done? So stay and finish everything before you leave.
What was the name of this chief?
Boakye Danquah-Boadi Martin Abilba. Boakye Danquah-Boadi Martin Abilba. So immediately he finished, I told him that, Rawlings, shut up, don't say anything. I signaled to him, shut up, don't say anything. The reason why I told him not to say anything was that the Boakye Danquah-Boadi had said the whole thing for him. And if I write my news, it will appear that it is the people who are asking him to continue, to finish what he is doing, and not that he is coming to beg them for votes. You see? And that it will cut him in a right shape for the people. Fortunately, when Boakye Danquah-Boadi finished, and I signaled to him not to say anything, Rawlings just took the day, I came to visit you. Whatever I want to tell you, the journalists are saying I shouldn't say anything. So I wouldn't say anything.
Another historic encounter took place during the outbreak of cerebrospinal meningitis in the late 1990s.
When there was a cerebrospinal meningitis outbreak in the Upper East region, and I reported that there had been a cerebrospinal meningitis outbreak in the Upper East region, his Minister of Health at that time held a press conference in Accra. Look, I am here, National News Agency, reporting from here, and I'm telling you that there's an outbreak of CSM in Accra, in Boakye, and you are in Accra, and you say I'm lying. Because of what he did, I was forced to break the rules of the news agency. We use service message for only internal communication. It's not supposed to be used for news. So under the circumstance, I sent a service message to Captain Kojo Chikata, who was then the National Security Coordinator, through his friends, Mr. Kwalochu, who was the General Manager of GNA at the time, that he should ask his children to check whether what I have reported was false or true. Fortunately, Captain Chikata he sent his boys, and they confirmed that what I was reporting was correct. So Captain Chikata caused a plane load of medical supplies to be sent to Bolga, but they went and dropped the supply at the Paga airstrip. It was only when they have taken off that they called the health of workers in Bolga that they have gone to place a plane load of medical supplies to fight the outbreak. Fortunately, we were able to contain the situation. Then Rawlings came after 3 weeks. I was very much angry. So when he landed, he flew the plane himself, and he was in tracksuit. So when I saw him coming, the plane itself, the Ghana Air Force plane was flying there. So he came. When I saw him coming, I was angry. I was very much angry. So I asked him, who slaughtered a sheep to appease you? What are you now coming to do here? Who slaughtered a sheep to appease you? I use that term often because when we were growing up, if you do something and then later on you do what you were supposed to do that got you angry, we used to say in my language, when you try to join. It was that I translated. Who slaughtered the sheep to appease you? What are you now coming to do here? Quickly, Tete, his aide-de-camp, came and put his hand around my neck and said, we will explain when we get home. So when we got home, while we were taking our breakfast, then Rawlings explained. He said, yeah, he would have come earlier, but his doctors insisted that he should be vaccinated and wait for an incubation period before they will allow him to come. And that is the reason why he was now coming. And I said, okay, I understand. Now I understand. Now you've made my heart to rest.
Mr. Danquah-Boadi also recalls how he joined Rawlings' convoy to Yakaba in the northeast region to commission a bridge and Fumbisi rice field.
There is a town in northern region here, called Yagaba. We went to commission a bridge over River Sicily at Yagaba. Even though Yagaba is in northern region, it was easier to get there from Bolga rather than from Tamale. That's how come we went to commission it. When we went there, everything went on smoothly. And then that we were coming back. When we got to the Fumbisi Rice Valley, we went here. Imagine that, we've come all the way from Bolga to come and commission River Sicily. When we were going back, when we got to Fumbisi is an area where a lot of rice is cultivated. Then Rawlings just stopped the convoy. And then he got down. We were following him. So our vehicle also stopped, and we started following him. We were going through the rice farms. And one of my friends, Idris Husseini, the Daily Graphic correspondent, asked me, "Boadi, tell your friend, where is he taking us to?" Then I said, "Don't worry, I will make sure that we return back." So I started conversing with him in loud tones. And I said, I interviewed a rice farmer. And he said that when the rice reaches this age, it is dangerous because if there is fire, the stalks explode, and then they will fly far away and go and start a fire there. Within a short time, the whole place will be full of fire. When I said that, about 2 minutes later, Rawlings said, "Okay, I think we've seen enough. Let's go back." And so I was able to get him for us to turn back. So we joined the convoy. Then when we got to Bulsa, Sandema, we were all hungry. I saw that my friend was hungry. But the food they have prepared and put on the table, he was a bit afraid to eat the food. I don't know where the source of his hesitation. So when I saw that my friend was finding it difficult to take the food, I just shouted, "Oh, Seni, do you remember when we were children? We said we like rice bottom. Today, I'm going to eat rice bottom." So I went and took a plate from the table and then went to the kitchen to go and take rice bottom. Fortunately, his boy also brought a plate and also did what? He also presented it, and then he took the food and sent it to the president. And so he ate. Even though he was hesitant to eat the food they had prepared for him, I was able to get him to eat by saying that I was going to take the rice bottom. So he was my big brother. And that's how I saw him.
In 2000 elections, Danquah-Boadi claims that he prevented Rawlings from extending his mandate.
But I was the one. President Mills sent the concessionary statement. And I was the one who made this Ghana to transit from one elected government to another elected government peacefully. I caused it. Good. Atta Mills, after the elections, he decided to give in that he has lost the election. But the NDC gurus said the elections had been rigged in Ashanti region.
That's in 2000.
Yes. And that the election has been rigged in the Ashanti region. Therefore, all the votes from Ashanti region should be discounted. Okay? And that would have meant that Ghana was going to be in turmoil. So Atta Mills went and hid somewhere and got the opportunity to write his concessionary statement. And when he wrote his concessionary statement, he called me. I was then senior editor on duty to send my boy to come and collect the concessionary statement. And so my boy went and brought it. So I was the one who crafted that historical news item. Vice President John Evans Atta Mills on Friday evening conceded defeat and congratulated John Ajay Kufuor on his election victory in last Thursday's presidential election runoff. I wrote that story. And when I wrote that story, BBC called, the British High Commission called for confirmation. And when I did the confirmation, BBC stopped it and said, breaking news. And then he read what I had written. BBC read it. When BBC read that news item, at that time, Rawlings had assembled soldiers at Efia Sutherland Park and was about to deploy them to go and seize radio stations in Accra and maintain his control over the country.
That was in 2000?
Yes. 2000. When Atamils and Kufuor competed, presidential election runoff. That's what I'm talking about, the presidential election runoff. And immediately, the story went out. The soldiers who were at the first Sutherland Park, he told them, their commander said, the person we're going to fight for has conceded defeat, according to BBC. And that Atamils has sent a concessionary statement to GNA. So boys, go back to the barracks. And I've written this one. I stopped Rawlings from extending his tenure. It is, if you Google it, you find it, the story. Rawlings didn't say anything about it till he died. Okay? I was telling my grandchildren that Professor Atamils, when he met me at Greenland Hotel, Agola Swedro, and I introduced myself to him. He was on a campaign trail. I introduced myself to him that I was the one you sent your concessionary statement to. Come and see, I said something has hit him from heaven. He held my hand like this. You saved this country. You saved this country. I will not, in the pursuit of my political ambition to become the president of this country, do anything that will lead to the shedding of the blood of this country, of any Ghanaian. That's what President Mills told me. And all my friends were saying, hey, what is wrong with, why was Mills shouting, those who were far away? They were wondering, they were asking me, Boadi, why was Mills shouting? And I said, he was congratulating me for the story on his concessionary statement.
He believes that no president, alive or dead, comes close to the late Rawlings in relation to love for Ghana.
He had feeling for the Ghanaian. Whatever, from my point of view, he did in his mind was to please Ghana and to serve Ghana. I didn't see any sign of selfishness or greed on his part. This thing I can vouch for him. That as far as I saw, I give him a big mark for his love for this country. Whatever he did was from his perspective and from my perspective. I was convinced that he loved Ghana more than himself. It is therefore very sad that he is leaving us at this point in time. But I love him, I cherish him, and God has been faithful to him by making him bury the mother before he himself followed. It shows that God's grace is with him. That is why he allowed him to bury his mother before he died. When I saw him crying on the television at the funeral, I just make a joke to myself. You have just joined the Motherless Club and you are crying. Look at the way you are crying. Even though I was alone in the room, look at him. It's now that he's going to see, he will see how it looks like without a mother.
Okay. So How were you close to Rawlings? What was your relationship with him?
That's what I started by saying. It was purely on official lines. I was a journalist, and I became a pal. Not because even I told you that he doesn't even know my name, and he even thought I was a neighbor. So we're not that personally close, but it is the nature of my work, you know. So sometimes I used to tell people, you people, have you sat in the pinch goer of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces before? Have you sat in the pinch goer of the Commander of the Ghana Armed Forces before? I sat in that pinch goer of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces with J.J. Rawlings. You know, when he came round in the northern...
A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
The vehicle, the media vehicle was full, and he asked me to join him in the pinch goer. You see, so I sat in the pinch goer of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.